Welcome to Spiritual Guitar. My name is Devin. This is Daya. He's sound asleep because today we are playing Ho'oponopono. It is an old Hawaiian prayer that reflects on love and forgiveness. I first heard this really only about 6 months ago, and it was a really special setting. I was in Pachamama in Costa Rica, kind of sitting on a balcony and overlooking just a really large expanse of the woods and the night sky, and this song hit me hard. It was really deep. The girl who sang it did it so beautifully. So I wanted to share that with you today. Unfortunately, I can't give you that beautiful backdrop and scenery, but hopefully we can do it some justice in this video. So there is a standard way to play this song, and I'm going to include this in the sheet music and the tabs that I'll put on my Patreon. However, I'm not going to base the lesson off these chords. There's the usual chords, A minor, to a G, to an F major, to an E major. And I would typically play that with a P-I-M-A-I pattern. Ho'oponopono, 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 ho'opono. But there are quite a few other lessons on this song that utilize those chords. So like I said, I'll include that in the sheet music. If you're just kind of getting started, this is a great beginner song. Start with those chords, and the sheet music will break it down nicely for you. And like I said, there's plenty of other lessons online outlining those chords. But for today's lesson, I like to always add a little bit of dark and melancholic and mysterious kind of a sound to the harmonies and the songs. I don't know, it's just, I'm a very happy person, but I tend to play very sad and deep music, and this is a deep song, and it's a really powerful song, and I think that these darker harmonies really work. It brings a lot of depth to a song that already has a lot of depth. So we're going to do a couple different chord variations that are maybe a little bit more challenging, maybe a little newer. Take your time. Don't get overwhelmed by this. I just want to show you these chords to help expand your toolbox, expand your musical palette and your harmony palette a little bit. So you can play around and make this song sound a little more mysterious. And you can also add these to other songs, you know. So we're substituting for an A minor, a G, an F major, and an E major. So whenever you're using this A minor chord, try to use this variation instead. So this is like an A minor chord. I should say I'm playing with a capo on the 2nd fret. I'm just playing here because that's where my vocal register sits comfortably for me. There's no right place to put the capo. You can put it up here if you'd like and you sing a little higher, or you could put it a little lower if you sing a little bit lower. But for me, 2 is my sweet spot. So when I'm referencing frets, we're going to pretend like this is fret number 1, right? So let's say I'm going up to my 5th fret. This would be an A minor chord, same as this. We're just cutting off the 2 low strings, right? And we're just going to put the 6 in the chord. And we're going to lift up our first finger so it's no longer a bar, so we have our E note as well. So your 3rd finger is on the 7th fret on the D string, your 1st finger is on the 5th fret on the 3rd string, and your 2nd finger is on the 6th fret on the B string. That's the F note. So we have A, C, F, E. And we're going to play the low A with that. And my right hand finger picking pattern, I'm just going to play, my thumb is going to play the 2 bass notes, 5th string, 4th string, index on 3rd string, middle on 2nd string, and ring finger on the 1st string. And what I'm doing there is I repeat it, I'm only playing the low A bass note once. I stop on the G string, and now we're going to go to our G major substitution chord. This to me looks like a C major chord over a G with a G and a bass, which means that we're playing the notes of a C major 7 chord. Right? Beautiful chord. But we're going to put a G on the bass. And so these chord notes, or you're going to put your first finger down on the 3rd fret on the 6th string. You're going to skip this 5th string. You're not going to play it. We're going to jump over it with our thumb, play the 4th string, where your 3rd finger is going to be on the 5th fret. Then your 2nd finger is on the 4th fret, 3rd string, and your pinky is on the 5th fret on the 2nd string. And you're going to play an open E string. And with your right hand, you're playing the low 6th string. Oops, I'm sorry. Jumping over the 5th string, landing on the 4th string, right? So let's just go back and forth between this A minor with the 6th. It's so beautiful to me. And then we're going to move down to a D minor with an F in the bass. And this is replacing or substituting for the F major chord. It's the exact same chord shape as the G major chord. Just slide it down to the F, or to where your first finger would be on F on the 1st fret. But really this is a D minor chord, right? Or like this. Or you, right, here's the F, and we're just going to use this F instead. And you also have an E note in there as well, which would be your 9. So it's a D minor 9 with an F in the bass. And then we're going to go to an E major chord with this G sharp in the bass. Right? Because usually we play an E major like this. And you have your G sharp here. And instead of playing our low E in the bass, we're going to play our G sharp. And we can remove our, we're not going to play the 5th string to make this chord a little easier. So we're just going to put our pinky on the G sharp on the 4th fret, 6th string. Skip the 5th string, move to the 4th string. E note, 2nd fret, 4th string. First finger down on G sharp, 1st fret, 3rd string, open B string, open E string. And we're doing this G sharp in the bass because it leads us right to the A, right? Otherwise we'd be jumping. We'd be jumping to that A, which is fine, you can do that, but I just think it's a little nicer in this case, just to slide from the G major to the A, which this is the same note, right? So, that's our A. So, same right hand finger picking pattern throughout this whole thing. Now, what I like to do, this is challenging. I've had to practice this quite a bit myself, so it's a great exercise if you want to take a stab at this. When we do our F, well, really our D minor 9 over F, but the substitution for the F major chord. I like to do that, and that is tricky. So, it just gives you a nice walking, we're going, whoops. Right? So I like that. And in order to get that, whoops. So we're going to go. And when we play that open, so we're going to play this just 2 times. 1, 2, 1, 2. And after the second time, when we play that open E note, as that's ringing, we're going to leave our first finger down and we're going to shift all of our other fingers. This is a tricky move. This took me a lot of practice just going back and forth. We're going to move from, your pinky is now going to go where your third finger was on the 3rd fret, 4th string. Your ring finger, 3rd finger, is going to go down on the 2nd fret, 3rd string on the A note. First finger is going to go on the 1st fret, tucked up underneath, second finger is on the 1st fret, tucked up underneath your 1st finger on this B string, on the C note. And then we're just going to lift our middle finger up. So let me play that very, very slowly. And I lifted up my finger on that last note. And that's exactly how you want to practice it. In fact, you want to practice it much slower than that. And like, I'm not kidding. I've played this probably this past week. I'll just do this for 5 or 10 minutes. You can listen to a podcast or something in the background, as long as you are, you're not super distracted. Sometimes actually it helps for me when I am practicing to have just a little something in the background occupying that part of my mind that would maybe have the small talk or the chatter. Because you want to make sure that you're paying attention and you're building muscle memory. And you build the muscle memory by very consciously and very slowly making these intentional movements with your fingers. You don't want to just sloppily jump. You're not building the connections in your fingers unless you're really slow and you're really mindful. So it looks like this. That's an exercise in itself, and it's a great one. Really slowly when you're practicing this. Make sure all the notes that ring out nice and clearly. This is going to really challenge your left hand position as well. So if that's a little newer to you, I'll link one of my video lessons covering the left hand technique below in this description, because you're going to really need to make sure that your thumb is in proper position, flat on the back of the neck, and all your fingers are super arched. If they're not super arched, they're going to slump over and they're going to mute the strings below them, and this chord is not going to sound as pretty. Now this is another tricky jump because we have to jump our pinky from here, needs to go here. And when I do that, I tend to make a lot of noise. I actually have new strings as well, so they're extra squeaky. But listen, if I don't focus on minimizing the noise in that transition, listen to how noisy it is in the middle. So you want to very lightly lift your fingers off the strings and then very gently place them back down. And the beauty of this intro, it can be slow. It's moody. It can be slow. It doesn't have to be timed perfectly. You can stretch these spaces out. You can give yourself that space in between these transitions to make it nice and clean. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You don't want to take too long, but you can give yourself a little bit of artistic leeway there. And And now you don't have to do that jump either. When I sing, I don't do that because that's too much. You can just keep it straight. Like here, we can just play it straight. It sounds just as good to me. And when we're singing over that, we play the same thing. And you just sing the melody. Ho'oponopono, 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 ho'opono. Now what I did there, when I sing, I like to mix this in sometimes. When I go to my E major chord, oops, I keep doing that. I will play the open E. I'll start there. So, ho'oponopono, ho'opono. And other than that, when we play our bass note, that's when we start singing. Ho'oponopono, 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 ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono, 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 ho'opono. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you. And you don't always have to go to that G sharp. You can just, how are we? Oh, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. Right? And there we just went, we didn't put that extra G sharp in with our pinky. So it's pretty straightforward. I sing that, I'm not sure if there's a set number of times that you sing ho'oponopono. I just kind of sing it until I feel like changing to singing I love you, I'm sorry. So I would consider those two different verses. Very straightforward and simple song structure here. And for each one, I'm playing the same chords. I love them. That's really cool. And then there's the little melody riff. I love when I am playing and singing, and if you can do it, I think it's really neat to add a nice little melody, kind of transition or just a soft point for everybody to take a breath and you stop singing. So sometimes you could begin the song with it, as I did in the beginning of the lesson, or you can begin the song with singing, and then when you want to take a break from singing, you can add this. Oops. You can tell I haven't played this enough yet because I just smile every time. I love it so much. I'm gonna play this all day. So let's just focus on finding the melody in these chords. These are gonna be the notes that we wanna emphasize and bring out. So in the first chord, we have and that's really, most of these notes are already in the chord shape that we have. So we're playing open E, and then we're gonna play an F, on the second B string. That's where your middle finger is. Back to open E. Open E, and then we're going to hinge our first finger down so that we can play the A on this fifth fret. Right? And now when you make this hinge, I do that with just using the small knuckle in your first finger. Just like that. Right? And when you're making this hinge, what you want to focus on is try to keep the pressure down on this third string on the fifth fret, because when you do start using that note as a harmony note underneath, you want it to ring out. Just like that, right? Ho'oponopono, ho'oponopono. Now I'll move to the G major chord. So your melody notes here, well first the chord shape, it's a bit different than the C major 7 over G that we were playing while we were singing. Now we're just going to play a more standard G chord. So your third finger is going to be on the 3rd fret, 6th string. Pinky's going to be on the 3rd fret, 2nd string for your D. And your melody notes are D, 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 open E, D, D, and now your pinky's going to go to this high G. So it's going to move from the 2nd string to the 1st string and then back to the 2nd string for your D. Probably another way that you could do this would be like this. Yeah, you could play it like that. So you could put your first finger down on the G, your second finger down on the D, and then you could use your third finger to lift open the majority of the chord for your open E. And then you could just put it down for your G, like that. I prefer to play my G like this because it opens up the rest of my fingers to move around and augment the chord further. But if it's tricky, you can start like this. And again, I'm gonna have all of these fingerings written out specifically in the sheet music and the tabs. So definitely check out the shop in the Patreon page and pick that up so that you can follow along. In particular, when we get into the right hand and what I'm doing, I'm going to spell out the exact fingerings that I'm using with the bass and with my thumb for the harmonies. And I'm not going to cover that in great detail in this video lesson because I think it's a bit inefficient going into all that detail when I can just put it on the page and you can learn it in your own time. So for this G, ho'oponopono, ho'oponopono. So you simply just have D, 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 open E, D, D, G, D. And when you're just starting this, find those notes first and make sure that you understand the melody, sing along with it, and then start putting in the chord shape. And then we'll start layering in the bass note harmonies with our right hand. All right, so we have our A minor. G. Now we're going to go to an F bar shape, which would usually be played like this, F major bar shape. However, we're not going to play the 5th string, so we're going to move our 3rd finger down to where our 4th finger would normally be, and we're going to use our pinky, our 4th finger, to play this D note right here on the 3rd fret, B string on the 2nd string when that comes. So when we jump into the chord, the melody is going to start with a C, which is being covered by our bar chord. That's on the 2nd string, the B string. Ho'oponopono, ho'oponopono, right? Ho'oponopono. That's where I put my pinky down. Ho'oponopono, ho'oponopono. And then we go to an E major chord, standard position, the way that you would usually play it. So what I'm doing there, we have our open B, Then you're gonna do that half bar again with your first finger, so just kind of collapsing that first knuckle so that you're covering the second string and the third string here. You don't have to worry about the first string, just second and third to get that C note that's on the second string. So B, collapse it, play your C. Second string the whole time. Ho'oponopono. And then we're gonna do a little walk, which is going to be first finger, this G sharp, which is already down, and then we're going to sneak our pinky underneath our second and third finger to play the A, this note on the third string, second fret. Right? So we're walking from the G sharp to the A to the B, and then we're going to go back to our C. Right? Oops. And there you go. There you have it. That's the melody. So work on those notes, understand where the melody is, sing along with just that, and then we're going to start incorporating some bass notes to go underneath. So to start this, like I said, I'm going to spell out what I do with my thumb in the sheet music, but just for this video lesson and just to get you started, we're only going to use the lowest bass note, and we're just going to play it 4 times in quarter notes throughout this section, over underneath the melody. So it'll sound like this. Let's see if I can play it properly. So I'll play it just once, the way that I will with my thumb, and just if you can see, I'm just covering really these lower 3 strings and just alternating between them with my thumb as I'm playing the melody with my ring, middle, and index finger. So I'll play it very slowly. It's going to sound like this. And you can go from there right back into the verse. You can end just on the regular A minor chord. Or you can do an A minor add 9. Ooh. That chord, instead of doing your third finger on the A, you put your pinky on the B, which is 4th fret, 3rd string. Really pretty, really mysterious, a great way to end it. So I hope that that helps. I think that that's going to be the end of the lesson here. We've shown you the different chord shapes, the melody, and targeted the melody notes inside of the chords, and then lightly touched on bringing in some bass note harmonies as you incorporate the melody with your right hand. Now I've glanced over the right hand here a little bit, just for the sake of brevity and for the sake of the lesson. Again, all of that information is going to be living in the sheet music and the tabs, so you can check that out there. And if you are having a bit more trouble with your right hand, or this feels a little overwhelming to you, Then there are some very specific fingerstyle exercises that I've written out for medicine music. So I'm taking patterns that I find in popular medicine music songs, identify those patterns, and then I build small incremental exercises using familiar chord shapes to get you comfortable and step by step to walk you into these little more complex right hand finger picking patterns. So I'll link both of those. I have exercises 1 through 3 and then 4 through 6, I believe, something like that, or maybe 1 through 10, written out and in the shop in the Patreon right now. I'm also working on, there's like 36 different exercises. I have this full little workbook that I'm putting together, so I'll spend some more time just making sure all the finishing touches are right there, and then I'm gonna release that so that you'll have full exercises, 36 of them, to really incorporate in your practice. And I think, or I would say I know because I've done this myself, this is where I get this from, is working on those exercises and building that into your practice. Playing stuff like this is gonna come very quickly for you. So I really encourage you to check that out and start getting more familiar with your right hand if this was a little too much for you here. So yeah, that's it. This is a really lovely song. Like I said, the regular version is also beautiful too. You can find tons of tutorials out there. So I encourage you to search for that as well and get to know both. I think that's a really cool way to approach this, and you can play it different ways in different types of settings. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Again, my name is Devin. This is Daya, and this is Spiritual Guitar. He's been very patient, and it is time for us to go out for our daily walk. So we're gonna go do that. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Ho'oponopono, 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 ho'oponopono. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I